I transmigrated into the world of a book. The timing was perfect. It happened at the exact moment when the original husband, who'd married into his wife's family, handed her the divorce papers and asked her to sign. He'd tricked her into signing when she wasn't paying attention, insisting they wait another month for the cooling-off period before leaving. The original husband was always being framed by his wife's crush, never defending himself with words, never fighting back with his hands, never walking away with his feet. All he did was wear a blank face, force a bitter smile, and endure humiliation. Anyone watching would think he was born a masochist. A pure simp. But I'm not the original husband. Not only do I want to divorce immediately, I also want to take $1 billion of her fortune. Then I'll go abroad, reunite with my first love, and watch as her crush drags her into bankruptcy. My plan was flawless, if only my wife couldn't hear my inner thoughts. What contract do you need me to sign right now? My wife Willow asked impatiently, phone in one hand and pen in the other. She was busy chatting with her crush Makoto. I had just transmigrated, arriving right at the moment the original husband tricked Willow into signing the divorce papers, all because Willow's crush was coming back to the country. The original husband, in his generous delusion, wanted to make room for him. I remembered how the original husband had called the papers a housing contract. The wealthy, overconfident Willow didn't even look closely. She flipped to the last page and signed. But I had no intention of letting that happen. I live by a simple principle: if you do something, do it openly. If you have a reason, state it clearly. Revenge should be taken. Resentment should be repaid. Basically, clear-cut grudges and gratitude. Alright, you saw through me. I'm not noble. The main point is this: that document was a divorce agreement that would leave me with nothing. Why? I married into Willow's family, spent 3 years working hard and enduring everything, never even touching her finger, so why should I walk away with nothing? The original husband pretended nobility, chasing pure love, but in reality he was a simp giving up everything and paying more. But I'm not like that. Youth is precious. It's not that I didn't want to touch Willow, she insisted on playing the pure and untouchable role, claiming a phobia of men and that she couldn't stand being close to them. A woman like that, and still the original husband planned to leave with nothing. Then why stay in the house during the 30-day cooling-off period? Wasn't it because, deep down, he hoped Willow might change her mind before the dream ended? What a fake noble act. Willow's attention was on her phone as she flipped to the last page and raised her pen. I stepped forward and snatched the papers. Rip. Without a word I tore up the divorce agreement that would have left me nothing. Willow frowned at my sudden change of attitude and asked, impatient, George, what are you doing? I didn't hide anything. I said bluntly, this is a divorce agreement. Some of the terms are wrong. I'll prepare a new one later. Inside, I was thinking, good thing I ripped it up. A woman like Willow doesn't deserve to send me away with nothing. Without at least $1 billion in compensation, I won't give her crush a spot. Willow froze, shocked. The moment she heard divorce agreement, she was startled. She turned and saw that my lips hadn't moved, yet she clearly heard me say 2 sentences. What the hell? She suspected hallucination. She tested me. George, you want to divorce me? Why? She pressed. Since the words were already out, I didn't hide it. Pretending to be magnanimous I said, isn't your crush about to return home? I'm giving you both a chance to be together openly so the news of President Liu cheating won't spread. But in my heart I thought, she wasted 3 years of my life. I'd rather slap her to death. Letting her off cheap is unacceptable. Is $1 billion too little? How about $10 billion? Willow finally realized she was hearing my inner voice. $10 billion? Ha! He really dares to ask for that. I never thought about divorcing you. Makoto and I are just friends. Don't overthink it, she said. And don't ever bring up divorce again. Smack. I couldn't be bothered to argue. I slapped her across the face. I committed domestic violence. So are we divorcing or not? I demanded. In my head, if we don't divorce soon the Liu family will go bankrupt and I won't get a single cent. No, we must get divorced today. Besides, I'm not taking the money just to spend on myself. In the future I'll have to clean up the Liu family's corpse. Willow, stunned after the slap, felt fury surge. She wanted to send someone to break my legs. But the next second she heard my inner voice. Her anger flipped to fear. What? The Liu family going bankrupt? Me cleaning up the Liu family's corpse? Absolutely not. Willow Liu was president of Liu Corporation. The Liu family wasn't just her family, it was her life security and mission. She could die, but the Liu family must never go bankrupt. For the Liu family she could give up love and sacrifice her marriage. Willow still refused to agree to a divorce. I had no idea what she was thinking, and I couldn't be bothered to guess. Wouldn't it be better to divorce me and then be openly with Makoto? She tore the new agreement I brought into pieces, rushed into the bedroom, and locked the door. She left a single sentence, "Even if you beat me to death I won't divorce you." I was speechless. You shut the door, how could I even beat you to death? This home, no, this was never my home. My real home was in the countryside. I had to leave quickly. If I stayed, Willow's new man would soon move in. I wasn't running away, I just felt sick at the sight of that pretentious coquette. Even hitting him would dirty my hands. Back in my room I packed my things overnight. 2 big suitcases, the empire I'd built over 3 years, including gifts Willow bought me for the Liu family's pride. The original owner of this body had been too proud to want anything, but I would take their valuables. Why refuse money? Unlike the original owner who slipped away secretly, I got in the car and posted on WeChat Moments. The picture showed the bold characters of the torn divorce agreement. The caption read, "I, George, have signed a divorce agreement with Miss Willow, who remains pure and untouched." As for whether Liu family's reputation collapses or Liu Corporation's stock falls, what does that have to do with me? I was just a live-in son-in-law, a useless, spineless one at that. After posting, I switched off my phone, hit the gas, and sped away from Willow's villa, away from City A, back to my home in the countryside. With my parents gone and no siblings, this was one reason the Liu family chose me as their live-in son-in-law. A 2-story house, always clean and managed by a village auntie, it was spotless. I could live there immediately. Sleeping in my true home, I finally rested peacefully until morning. No need to wake early to make Willow breakfast. No need to watch her mood. No need to serve her shoes or carry her bag. Sigh. Just thinking about it brought tears. Original owner, how could you live so pathetically? Willow woke at dawn. Her phone had died while she was video chatting with a friend. She grabbed the charger, turned it on, and felt her world collapse. 99 plus missed calls and messages, all from her parents, sister, and friends. Her parents and sister were traveling abroad. Had something happened to them? She suddenly remembered my mention of the Liu family going bankrupt and hurriedly called Father Liu. As soon as the call connected, Father Liu's furious voice roared, "Unfilial daughter. Contact George immediately and make him delete that WeChat post." Mother Liu's crying voice rang in the background. "Delete what? Let everyone see what kind of person this Willow really is. I want to sever our mother-daughter relationship." Willow was dumbfounded. She knew her mom favored George, but to cut ties? Impossible. It must be George lying. She quickly opened my WeChat post. One glance and her mind blanked. The words "pure and untouched" struck her like 4 heavy slaps. Her face flushed bright red. There are things one may do but never speak of, yet her husband had exposed it to the world. How would outsiders see her? Would they say her husband was inadequate? Or that she was? Or that she disrespected him? Or bullied him for the sake of her affair? George, in 3 years of marriage, this was the first time Willow rushed into my room. By then it was empty. She checked the surveillance camera and watched me dragging suitcases out without hesitation. Willow collapsed to the floor, hollowed out. Willow arrived sooner than I expected. I had just woken and was about to go into town for breakfast when she was already at my doorstep. Yesterday she'd been dazzling, now her hair was a mess, she was still in pajamas, maybe hadn't washed her face. There was a brokenness about her. I thought, seeing her like this, could it be Makoto doesn't want her anymore? TSK, Willow's a simp too. She and I, how pathetic. Willow rolled her eyes helplessly. "Husband, can I come in?" Thunder ripped through me. Husband. In 3 years she'd never once called me that. This woman suddenly calling me husband, why do I feel like slapping her again? She must be some weasel paying New Year greetings to a chicken up to no good. I'd better be on guard. In the end, I let Willow in. Villagers were already watching the spectacle outside. Say it. Other than the divorce agreement, we have nothing else to discuss. If you don't sign, I might commit domestic violence, she said. Or maybe I'll cheat, would that work? Or is it too much money? Then decide how much to give. As soon as I said that, I regretted it. Damn, how could I let her decide? What if she gives me nothing? I can't actually beat her up. I can't be like those newly divorced guys who go to the night bar and wrap themselves with 10 young models. My principles are too rigid, I can't even play scumbag properly. Willow lowered her head and fell silent a while, then looked up earnestly. Husband, I never once thought about divorcing you. I sneered inwardly. Of course you don't. At home the main flag stands tall while outside the side flags wave freely. What a toxic woman. Willow tried to reassure me. I will never cheat physically or emotionally. She raised 3 fingers and swore. I suddenly understood, so she wants to keep me calm for now, and a year or 2, maybe a few months, later she'll divorce me. Scheming woman. Willow opened her mouth but no words came. Her heart was filled with despair. If before she might have schemed, now something felt different. Makoto was a distant, untouchable dream. George, the man who'd accompanied her 3 years, felt more real. She hadn't given up. She tried the emotional card. Mom fainted when she saw your WeChat post. She still hasn't woken. Dad's heart isn't good, you know that. The Liu parents had treated me like a son. Mother Liu especially doted on me, sometimes intervening over Willow's stubbornness. Because of Father and Mother Liu's interference, Willow and I temporarily stopped the divorce process. Father and Mother Liu were the kindest people to me in the world. As an orphan, I cherished their affection. I deleted the WeChat post, but refused Willow's suggestion to publish another one clarifying things. When I walked Willow out, my thoughts wandered. If I had known divorce would be this troublesome, I should have tricked her into signing the agreement last night. Then I could fly abroad directly. I wonder if by going abroad a month earlier I might still run into my crush. Too bad I don't have my senior Sophia's contact info right now. First I'll get my passport ready. In a few days I'll fly over to look for her. In the original story, the previous George divorced, went abroad, and coincidentally met his university senior Sophia. Sophia matched Willow in background, looks, and figure, and she was Willow's sworn enemy. For some reason, as soon as Willow heard me thinking about a senior and planning to go abroad, jealousy and fury flared. You, what for? Looking for a new partner? Reliving old memories? Jealousy, anger, sadness, despair all surged. Wait, wasn't your senior Sophia? She was Willow's senior too. Perfect. George, so before the divorce is even finalized you're preparing to find another woman. And you choose my sworn enemy Sophia? Willow's fury and despair burned. She sounded my name, one word at a time. I instinctively stepped back. What's wrong with this woman? Could it be she regrets it again? Sigh. If she really forces me to leave with nothing, fine. When she gets herself killed one day I won't bother to bury her. Willow's flames extinguished. She wasn't stupid, she'd guessed I could foresee the future. The thought of the Liu family's bankruptcy and the household's death made her drop questions about Sophia. One thought remained: as things stand, if we want to save the family, George's inner voice is our only hope. Under no circumstances could she divorce him. With that resolve, Willow's business instincts took over. She began calculating bargaining chips. Money. George wanted money but seemed willing to leave with nothing, not a good leverage. Family and affection. George, an orphan, treasured these. Marriage and love. Willow covered her face in shame. For 3 years she hadn't been a proper wife. Her only real bargaining chip was what George valued most: her pure and untouched status. Willow, what are you thinking? Are you leaving or not? I asked. I'm not leaving. We're not divorced yet, your home is my home. Can't I stay? She'd decided to stay by my side 24 hours a day to keep me from fleeing abroad. And I couldn't chase away a clingy stray dog. In the next few days, Willow acted different. She worked remotely at my house in the day. At night she tried to sneak into my room. She stuck to me all day. I was baffled and terrified of what schemes she plotted, especially since she kept dropping hints about my senior Sophia. Of course I said nothing. Worse, she started talking to me about company matters, which made me suspicious. When I'd married into the Liu family 3 years ago, Willow had set 3 rules. No talking about love, no talking about the company, no talking about having children. One day I finally couldn't stand it. Willow insisted on sitting next to me on the couch to watch a movie and even wanted to clean my ears. Willow, don't tell me you're trying to sweet-talk me into donating a kidney, I muttered inwardly. This body of mine is probably the only valuable thing I've got. I need to escape tonight. Willow sighed. These past days she'd been trying to be a proper wife, doing laundry, cooking, chatting, even preparing to share a bed. But my heart remained indifferent, like water to falling flowers. She seemed to escalate. You are my husband and I'll treat you well for the rest of my life. I can swear it. Over these days Willow realized marriage and love could be set aside. Avoiding the Liu family's bankruptcy was the priority. Without marriage and love she could survive. Without the Liu family's protection she'd be ruined. Thinking rationally, Willow revealed her trump card. Husband, today Mom, Dad, and my little sister are coming back from abroad. Let's go to the old house together, shall we? When Father and Mother Liu were mentioned I softened. Kind people could never refuse those who were truly good to them. Forget it, let's meet them and explain everything clearly. I can't just disappear like the original George. Slap. Slap. As soon as we arrived, Willow was slapped twice by her parents. She covered her face and looked pitiful. Mom, I know I was wrong. I'm willing. I'm really willing now to be a real wife to my husband. Mother Liu had prepared certain things for her. No one knew her daughter like she did. Seeing the daughter's sincerity, Mother Liu's anger eased, but she thought punishment was deserved. Willow cried. Mom, why are you still hitting me? At that moment Freya, my sister-in-law, ran over and grabbed Mother Liu's hand. Mom, you're going too far. Mother Liu shrugged. She stepped in with her left foot first. What do you expect me to do? Phut, seeing Willow's aggrieved face I couldn't help but laugh. Only my mother-in-law could keep this woman in check. George, you. Mother Liu staggered back 2 steps in shock. If Father Liu hadn't supported her she might fall. Freya, the one who usually hated me most, was furious. George, how dare you, slap. Willow smacked Freya across the face before she could finish. Then she dragged her parents and sister into the bedroom, whispering to Butler Wu, Uncle Wu, keep an eye on my husband and get him a Coke. Always invisible, Uncle Wu appeared in the kitchen with a bottle. I hadn't expected Willow to know the original George's favorite drink. Instead of feeling touched, I wondered why the family acted so strangely. I sat in the living room waiting half an hour for the Liu family to come out. I could faintly hear slaps and screams out of the room. When Father and Mother Liu finally walked out they looked heavy-hearted. The 2 sisters trailed behind with lowered heads. Mother Liu burst into tears and hugged me. I wanted to comfort her but I didn't know what to say. Mom, don't cry. Willow and I are temporarily not planning to divorce. We'll try to live well together. Meanwhile, in my head, stabilize them for now. In a few days I'll slip abroad. When the Liu family goes bankrupt and they're all killed I'll sneak back to collect their bodies. No, that won't do. I must take father and mother-in-law with me. If mother-in-law stays she'll be insulted and die miserably. Father-in-law will at least die quickly from heart disease. The most tragic will be Freya, forget it. She's always cursed me and hated me. When the time comes I'll buy her the cheapest urn. She'll be using it in less than 2 months anyway. As I comforted Mother Liu these thoughts flickered. I didn't notice the Liu family's different looks. Father Liu relieved, Mother Liu heartbroken, Willow full of regret, Freya unreadable with fists clenched and jaw tight. She didn't believe George's inner voice was prophetic. She was determined to find my flaw. George, Mom supports you divorcing Willow. Mother Liu spoke seriously. I'll call the bank later and transfer 10 billion to you. I hope you take that money, go abroad, and and never come back. I shot to my feet in shock. Mom, what are you? Father Liu patted my shoulder. Your mom and I truly see you as a son. Since your fate with Willow has run its course, let's part peacefully. When Mom and I go abroad in the future, you must host us in your home. At that moment my brain went blank. Weren't they supposed to persuade me not to divorce? How were they offering 10 billion? I looked at Willow, tears covered her face with regret filling her eyes. Husband, my parents are right. I agree to divorce you. Freya exploded. George, hurry up, sign the papers, take the money, and get lost. I'll even add 5 million for you. When you go abroad, take my parents with you, you're the real family. Go settle overseas together. I thought, what's with this family? Still, this brainless Freya happens to agree with me. But I don't want her money. I'll order the cheapest urn for her tomorrow. She'll be using it in less than 2 months. Freya stomped angrily. That's the savings from 20 years of my New Year's money. Her phone rang mid-sentence. She answered and then hung up. She looked at her parents and Willow. Your business is none of mine. Do whatever you want, I don't believe any of it anyway. Today's Maria's birthday. I have to go. She grabbed her bag but shot me a venomous glare before leaving. I opened my mouth to persuade her to stay, but she loved going against me. Freya is about to lose her purity. She'll join group debauchery, get photographed, and later be blackmailed into becoming one of the grave diggers of the Liu Corporation's bankruptcy. TSK, how should I stop her? In the end, Freya didn't leave. Just as she was about to go, Father, Mother, and Willow called her back. Mother Liu even pulled out the Liu family's ancestral law, a black leather whip. What's going on with Freya? If she didn't leave, does that mean the Liu family might avoid bankruptcy? Should I stay and help? But the key problem is Willow. That foolish woman is the biggest reason for the Liu family's collapse. Once again Willow felt despair. She hadn't even done anything wrong, so why would the family fall because of her? But listening to George's words, she realized destiny could be changed. The thought lifted her spirit. As expected of Willow, she could face bankruptcy, be a love brain and be schemed against. But all Willows across the myriad worlds share one thing: beautiful, aloof, and truly capable. She pulled out her phone and called her assistant. Lisa, bring a team. Arrive at Night Bar Private Room 1 within 30 minutes. Take photos, record videos, gather evidence, and bring Maria back to the Liu family estate. Father and Mother Liu exchanged glances and nodded with a smile. Freya's face flickered with hesitation, but then ruthlessness shone through. Willow suddenly changed her mind. Husband, can we wait 1 more month before divorcing? Don't worry, Willow keeps her word. 10 billion will be transferred to you right now. Before I could answer, Father and Mother Liu stepped forward too. Earlier they had agreed to the divorce for my sake, but now they felt it was worth one last attempt to see if fate could be changed. Mother Liu grabbed my hand. Child, Mom can't bear to see you leave. Stay at the old house for this month, okay? Freya tugged my sleeve and, for the first time, acted coy. Brother-in-law, from now on I'll treat you well. I remained silent, thinking the family had gone strange. Fine, I'll stay for the 10 billion in cash. A man should see things through. Disappearing without a word really isn't right. Willow can die, but the Liu family must not go bankrupt. In the future, everything can be handed over to Freya. I agreed to stay, but insisted Willow promise one thing: as long as this marriage lasts, you can't do anything immoral. Willow nodded quickly, but her heart filled with sorrow. So she might have to die, didn't she? I don't want to die, I sighed silently. Tomorrow, once Makoto returns, Willow's love brain will take over. She'll greet him at the airport with flowers and hugs and bring him home. I'd have to cook for her lover and clean up the room. That scumbag will want to sleep in the master bedroom right in front of me. Just thinking about it makes me sick. Maybe I should just break Willow's legs right now. Father Liu suddenly shouted, pointing at Willow. Go to your parents' room. I need to talk with you about company matters. Mother Liu quietly picked up the little leather whip. Her face looked kind as she told me, good son-in-law, your father, mother, and Willow have some company issues to discuss. Have another Coke. Willow's face went ashen. She begged, This isn't real. I haven't agreed to take over yet. Before she could finish, her body went limp and she collapsed to the ground. Half an hour later Willow was carried out weak, as if her breath might fade. Her face bore no wounds, but she had changed into a new set of clothes. At the same time her assistant Lisa arrived with a group. Alongside them was a disheveled woman with her mouth stuffed with a black silk ball. I recognized her, Freya's friend Maria. When Lisa entered she glanced at Willow's face, surprised. Why does the CEO look swollen? But she dared not ask. Instead she bent down and whispered into Willow's ear. The momentarily frail Willow instantly became predator-like, her icy gaze sweeping over Maria. You really don't know anything? Nod or shake your head. Maria shook her head frantically. Willow gestured. Take her and all the evidence to the police. Soon Maria was escorted away. Before leaving, Lisa was pulled aside by Willow who whispered a few words. Lisa glanced at me before leaving. Father Liu told Uncle Wu to prepare dinner. George, tonight you and Willow should stay here. Have a couple of drinks with Dad, how about it? Seeing the family's expectant eyes, I went along. The last moments of happiness always make people reluctant to let go. Sigh. Willow, if only you hadn't chosen to destroy yourself. Just as Willow sat, her body went limp and she slid to the floor. Husband, I really don't want to be beaten again. Another round of joint beatings and she'd rather die. She was trying to escape. Who at 25 still gets beaten every day? I glared at her. Her being beaten had nothing to do with me. I hadn't done anything, hadn't said anything. Willow, no, the whole Liu family was acting strange today. At dinner Father Liu kept pouring me wine. Mother Liu personally fed me from her chopsticks. Freya even leaned over to wipe my mouth. Willow, trying to squeeze in, found no place and could only sit meekly like a quail in its chair. I stole a glance at her and thought, something's off with Willow. Why is her face so red, her eyes downcast, shy like a bride-to-be? Could it be that she's thinking about Makoto again? Willow jumped up and waved her hands quickly. No, I really wasn't. Mom, don't forget that thing. Mother Liu simply nodded. Father Liu lifted his cup again. Good son-in-law, have another drink. Freya picked up my cup herself. Brother-in-law, let me feed you, cough, cough. Mother Liu slapped her daughter's hand away and shot Father Liu a glare. What drinking? What if he gets drunk and can't handle business? Then she placed a sea cucumber simmered with epimedium into my bowl. George, eat more. Tonight, the old house is damp and cold at night, you need the nourishment. Perhaps there was too much nourishment, because when I returned to my room I felt unbearably hot. In the middle of the night a woman slipped into my bed. From her scent and touch I knew it was Willow. I didn't refuse. I wasn't like the original owner, that so-called pure love warrior. Why would I reject meat delivered to my lips? Besides, I was still her husband in name. She truly was pure and untouched, a delicate rose blooming, and 3 years of humiliation burst forth into blossoming plum flowers. By the next evening the Liu family received guests, family friends from another powerful clan in City A, Makoto and his father. I didn't really want to see them, so I stayed in the game room Mother Liu had especially set up for me. I only came out for dinner. To my surprise, Willow didn't rush down to greet her crush. Instead she came slowly down the stairs, clutching the railing, looking frail. Her clothes were extremely modest, revealing only her hands and face. I couldn't understand what she was trying to do. Beside me Father Liu's distressed voice broke the silence. How much of the drug did you give her yesterday? All night without stopping? Mother Liu rolled her eyes. I didn't give any at all, you took the wrong thing. Father Liu was shocked. Then Mother Liu smiled with relief. They finally figured it out. She sighed long, though. But it's too late. Across the room, the moment Makoto saw Willow come down he rushed forward. Willow, why didn't you answer my calls? Are you sick? You look like you just woke up. Willow forced a smile and calmly avoided Makoto's hand. I really was sick. Slept all day. Then, after greeting Mr. Ito, she walked straight to my side and sat down. At the dining table, Father Liu, head of the family, said, "Old Ito, let's drink tonight. It's been a long time since we had a few cups together." Kento smiled, nodded, and teased, "Rare for you, a wife slave, to act tough for once." "Fine, let's drink." I didn't drink. Makoto didn't drink either. After a few rounds of dishes and wine, Makoto Ito took out a gift box. When opened, inside lay a dazzling diamond necklace glowing with brilliant blue light. "Willow, I didn't know what to bring you when I returned home. Until I saw this at an auction, a masterpiece, the late work of Master Pavani, Deep Sea Love. It symbolizes our feelings, no, our friendship. As deep as the sea itself." He smiled. "They say women are like Western dragons, always hoarding glittering diamonds. I guessed that necklace must be worth at least 2 to 3 billion. For a moment Willow was slightly moved, but only a little. After all, the waves of last night's passion still lingered stronger in her memory. Now she couldn't conjure feelings for another man, she was simply too full. Still, hearing Makoto's unchanging devotion did stir a bit of pride in her as a woman. Even so, she couldn't accept the gift, taking it would get her killed. Mother Liu, fearing her daughter might self-destruct again, urged quickly, "This gift is too expensive. Willow cannot accept it." Father Liu added, "Friendship among the younger generation shouldn't be this extravagant. Otherwise, if your father and I exchange gifts, we'd be throwing around tens of billions." Laughter rippled awkwardly. Kento nodded and pulled out a folder. "Old Liu, this is a port project in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Interested?" Father Liu dropped the joke immediately and first glanced at me. I understood instantly, he worried I'd misunderstand, but I wasn't qualified to reject it on his behalf. I was just a live-in son-in-law, with no shares in the Liu Corporation, unqualified to speak on business. Ha! The Ito family really is generous. Too bad Makoto's necklace wasn't truly meant for that pretentious coquette. Willow had been proud of Makoto's love, but the moment she heard it wasn't genuine she held her breath, focusing intently on what I would say next. This time even Father and Mother Liu and the usually silent Freya stopped what they were doing to listen. The one he truly wanted to give it to was my mother-in-law. If Willow knew her beloved's real desire was actually her own mother, would she die of rage? Willow's eyes instantly reddened. Her fists clenched so tightly they creaked. Mother Liu dropped her chopsticks and covered her mouth in disgust. Father Liu nearly crushed his cup. Meanwhile I kept eating the food in my bowl. Freya was so attentive she didn't let my bowl stay empty for a moment. Sigh. The whole family is blind. Makoto looks at Willow 10 times but secretly glances at my mother-in-law 20 times. Makoto lost his mother young. He has a mother complex. All these years Willow never noticed. Serves her right to be schemed against in the future. Mother Liu could no longer remain seated. Without a word she returned to her room. Willow and Freya also left without a word. The atmosphere turned unbearably awkward. Father Liu set down his wine glass and lowered his head to hide the hatred in his eyes. He had watched Makoto grow up, weathered storms himself, but in the end you can never truly know someone's heart. Before, he thought Makoto's closeness to Mother Liu came from a lack of maternal love. Now it was clear Makoto didn't just want a mother's love. He wanted far more. "Old Ito, I'm feeling unwell too. Let my son-in-law drink with you," Father Liu said, and without looking back, left the table. The situation could no longer be called merely awkward. Makoto put away the necklace and left. Kento paused, sighed, and followed him out. The father and son never once looked at me. Well then, because of the original George's spinelessness I deserved not to be taken seriously. An hour later Willow came out again, covered in bruises. This time it looked like a real beating. Her clothes were torn to shreds, she had to be supported by Mother Liu and Freya. I couldn't help grumbling inwardly, that woman is truly pitiful, beaten by her parents outside, beaten by me inside. But she deserves it. Father Liu pulled me to sit casually and brought up the cooperation Kento had proposed earlier. "George, what do you think about this partnership?" I thought Father Liu was testing me, so I told the truth. The project is excellent, the profit and prospects are promising. But you've overlooked one thing, that country just changed leadership. The new leader loudly declared his love for watching our country's football. Dad, do you really think such a person is reliable? When he takes office, his 3 fires, the 3rd fire, will burn directly onto this project. The project won't be cancelled, but its timeline will be indefinitely delayed, tying up the Liu Corporation's cash flow. Later the Ito family will join forces with the Jin family, the Ning family, and a foreign consortium. But even that won't be the deadliest blow. I sipped my tea, unwilling to dwell on matters beyond my control. The Liu family's bankruptcy wasn't something I could prevent. Besides, the 10 billion had already been transferred to me yesterday, marked as a voluntary gift. Father Liu, once a true titan of business, quickly found a possible breakthrough: find allies. George, who do you think the Liu Corporation should cooperate with? I froze. Was that really a question I needed to answer? So I said, Dad, you might as well ask Willow. I don't understand business matters. But in my heart I thought, other than the Liu family, the only reliable one I know is the Kim Corporation. But how do I say that Sophia Kim is my crush? Should I really suggest my in-laws send me into a marriage alliance with the Kim family? Dad! Willow suddenly shouted, startling everyone. Father Liu nervously rubbed his nose and instinctively blurted, No, I didn't. Right, how could I ever do something like that? Mother Liu shot him a glare. Your dad's lost his mind. Ignore him. George, don't take the Ito father and son's provocations to heart. With your parents here, Willow won't dare act recklessly. I nodded while my thoughts ran wild. It seemed Willow had changed, probably because we were at the old estate and she was restraining her emotions. Tomorrow Makoto would go to the company to find her. That woman would appoint him as head of the project department, an extremely important position. That's outright aiding the enemy. If you don't go bankrupt, who will? Damn it. Willow collapsed once again onto the sofa, staring blankly at the ceiling. She was truly terrified if she continued to stay with her husband. Sooner or later her parents would beat her to death. Slap. This time it wasn't Father or Mother Liu but Freya who struck Willow across the face. Sis, you know exactly what kind of man Makoto is, how can you still dare? Willow flustered. That's in the future, cough, cough. Father and Mother Liu loudly coughed in unison, cutting off the sisters' words. Then they hurriedly urged me, George, you didn't sleep last night. Go back to your room and rest. I couldn't shake the feeling that this family was becoming stranger and stranger, almost unreal. Forget it. Either way, it was only for 1 month. After I left, the whole family looked at each other in silence. Now they knew who the enemy was, but not their exact plan. The Liu family alone could never fight those other clans. They needed allies. The first consideration was a marriage alliance, which meant Willow absolutely could not divorce. Freya stepped forward. Mom, Dad, I agree to a marriage alliance. But Father and Mother Liu both refused, and Willow refused as well. Very few marriages of convenience in wealthy families ever brought happiness. They would not push their own daughter into a pit of fire. Freya stomped her foot anxiously. You don't actually mean to send brother-in-law to the Kim family for a marriage alliance, do you? Willow clenched her fist, ready to punch her sister. He is your brother-in-law, your real brother-in-law. Last night we already consummated the marriage. Mother Liu couldn't be bothered with the sisters' quarrel. Actually, Willow, you don't understand George at all. At this point there's no point hiding it any longer. George has another identity. In your generation's words, he has an alt account. It turned out Father and Mother Liu had accepted George as a live-in son-in-law not only because of his background and looks, but because of his abilities. Haven't you been searching for the hacker known by the codename GW? GW is George. Willow's shock was no less than when she first heard my inner voice. Then why didn't he say so? Willow suddenly realized no wonder her husband had claimed he would coincidentally run into Sophia abroad. There was no such thing as coincidence in this world, it was all calculated. The Kim Corporation, like the Liu Corporation, had its core business in internet products. And GW wasn't just any hacker, every project he'd been part of had been a major, state-level project. The name GW itself was a resource. With resources came business, and with business came a company's lifeline. Father Liu couldn't help but complain. There's one thing I strongly disapprove of in George's way of doing things. A man with ability should display it to his woman. Women are naturally drawn to strength. But he insisted on clinging to this pure love ideal, otherwise he would have already won over our daughter. Mother Liu and Freya both nodded. Willow, standing beside them, nodded as well. This time she truly agreed with her father's words. For she was Willow. The Willows of the myriad worlds would never fall in love with a simp. After a long while Willow returned to the bedroom. She slipped into my arms and softly asked, "Husband, are you GW?" I didn't deny it. Yes. I was wrong to keep it from you before. I wanted to take the pure love route. Pretty laughable, huh? Not laughable. Willow caressed my face with both hands. With a long sigh she said, "It was my fault. I wasted so much time without ever truly connecting with your heart." I quickly cut her off. Let's not bother with hearts anymore. Isn't it better to just connect physically? That woman's words can't be trusted. The one she loves most is Makoto. If I connect emotionally with her, I'll only end up being PUA'd. Willow wanted to refute immediately, but she also knew there was no trust between us now. To rebuild it would take time, maybe a year, maybe a lifetime. "Husband, can you hold me while I sleep?" Actually, last night was the happiest moment of my life. I couldn't help but feel a small joy. See, to conquer a woman you have to start with the body. Pure love was the stupidest thing ever. Fine, since she also took my first time, when I bury her in the future I'll at least buy her a decent urn. Willow smiled bitterly inside, unsure if she should feel happy or sad. The next day Willow insisted on going to the company with me. For 3 years we had kept our marriage hidden. She was the high and mighty CEO of the Liu Corporation. I was just a low-level tech employee, not even a department manager. Now, on the verge of divorce, going together suddenly made me uneasy. "Husband, we had quite the morning workout. You wore me out and now you want to pull up your pants and deny it. You're not that kind of man, are you?" I wanted to say yes, but when I saw her tearful look I softened. So when we entered the company Willow clung to my arm, acting like a delicate little bird. From the reception desk to the CEO's office, in less than 5 minutes news of our 3-year marriage had spread throughout the company. 20 minutes later Makoto rushed over after hearing the news. He stormed into the office and demanded, "Willow, didn't you say you'd divorce George once I returned? Now you've gone public with him, what was the point of me waiting 3 years? Damn. I was standing right here. Did he not see me as a human at all?" I sneered, "What's the point? You're just a toad. Isn't it said that toads never get to eat swan meat?" Willow burst out laughing, unable to hold it back. You too." Makoto grew so furious he nearly had a seizure. "Willow, have you fallen in love with him? He's just a mud-legged nobody, a complete nothing." Willow boldly walked to my side and hugged me. "I love my husband. I only love my husband. In the past I didn't understand love. I didn't know how to love. That's why I was deceived by your flowery words." Then her tone shifted, cold and stern. "Makoto, wasn't it you who stole my mother's missing underwear?" Makoto's face turned ashen, his eyes darted nervously, even retreating a step. Forcing a laugh, he said, "Willow, that kind of joke is not funny." Willow arched a brow and signaled me with her eyes. I reacted instantly, stepping forward and slapping Makoto across the face. Then I kicked him hard. "You ungrateful bastard. You dare covet my mother-in-law? You even want both mother and daughter at once. Disgusting." Makoto, guilty as he was, didn't dare fight back. I gave him a thorough beating before finally letting him leave. Strange, how did Willow know about this? No wonder she had started treating me well, she finally saw her crush's true face. Too bad it was too late. I didn't seem to like her as much as before. But I do like her body. She's already my woman. I can't just let her fall into trouble. Fine, I'll help her one more time. Willow felt both joy and sorrow. "Husband, can we not get divorced? If we do, my mom will never agree to let me marry another man, because she'll think what they really want isn't me. Or how about this? You can date girlfriends outside, just don't let me know. I was speechless. There was no way to respond to that. Proud Willow saying something like this had to be bluffing. If only Willow had treated me like this 3 years ago, I definitely would have been willing to stay with her for life. In the following days, storms brewed again across City A's business world. Ever since Makoto and Willow tore off their masks, the two families' companies had been clashing. According to Makoto's faction's plan, he was supposed to enter the Liu Corporation as head of the project department and leak vast amounts of company secrets. Meanwhile, the Brazilian project would consume a huge portion of the Liu Corporation's cash flow. At that point, the Ito family, allied with other powerful clans, would squeeze the Liu family's survival space. The Liu family would then desperately need a large sum to keep the company afloat. With bank loans tightening, the Liu Corporation would have no choice but to mortgage or trade away part of its shares. The Ito family would then be able to take those shares openly and legitimately. Bit by bit they would eat away at the Liu Corporation until they took it whole, forcing the Liu family out. The Liu family would go bankrupt, Father Liu would die of illness while Mother Liu, Willow, and Freya would meet tragic ends. Naturally, the Liu family could not accept such a fate. Through these days of overhearing my inner voice, Father Liu and Willow had already begun counterattacking. Of course, I hadn't been idle either. I had quite a few connections. GW's reputation hadn't faded during these 3 years as a live-in son-in-law. On the contrary, it had grown thanks to the original George and thanks to Willow as well. Since the original owner had no wife to eat with, play with, or chat with after work, he poured all his free time into coding. Borrowing the light of my mentor, I used my network to bring in partners for the Liu Corporation national-level enterprises that finally gave Willow a breath of relief amid the chaos. But it still wasn't enough. The Liu Corporation needed tens of billions in cash. Banks were uncertain, and under the combined assault of those powerful families, the Liu Corporation teetered. Just as I was preparing to reach out to my mentor again, an unbelievable visitor arrived. "Senior, why are you here?" It was my senior, Sophia Kim. She emerged behind Willow. "Husband, I told you I had a surprise for you." I forced a smile. Shocked was more like it. Although my relationship with Willow had only progressed slowly lately, it hadn't stopped us from sleeping in each other's arms every night. But suddenly seeing my crush threw my heart into chaos. What is Willow playing at? Could she have brought Sophia here to test me? To tempt me into cheating? To claw back that 10 billion? Willow kept smiling, but her eyes were fixed on Sophia. When she saw no reaction, her smile grew even brighter. As expected, only the Liu family could hear my inner voice. "George, it's been a long time." This time I came at Willow's invitation to discuss cooperation. "And to see you, of course." Willow nodded from the side. "Senior Kim came entirely for your sake. So why don't you hurry into the kitchen and cook us something delicious?" I knew the two women were about to discuss serious business. Willow sending me away suited me just fine. By the time I had prepared 5 dishes and 1 soup, they had finished their talk. Dinner went harmoniously. When I saw Sophia off, I asked Willow, "How did you persuade Senior to cooperate with you?" Willow gave a mysterious smile. "A straight hook to fish. Whoever wants to bite will bite." I rubbed my temples. She was still playing word games with me. If she didn't want to say, fine. Willow's been treating me better and better, but I still want to hit her, inside and out. Willow was speechless. With the Kim Corporation's help, within just 1 month the Liu Corporation not only recovered but also won the great struggle among City A's elite families. The Ito Corporation was on the verge of bankruptcy. That day Makoto came to the Liu residence wearing a suit that didn't quite fit. At first glance it seemed ill-fitting, but it wasn't the suit's fault. He had wasted away, grown terribly thin. The moment he entered he knelt on the floor and pleaded, "Uncle Liu, Willow, please spare my Ito family. From now on the Ito family will follow the Liu family's lead. We will serve as slaves, as servants." Naturally Father Liu and Willow did not agree. Mother Liu had already vowed grandly that if the Ito family ceased to exist, all her assets would be donated after her death. That was how deep her hatred for Makoto ran. And who could blame her? The neighborhood boy she had watched grow up courted her daughter only to get close to her, just so he could steal her underwear. Even though his public disgrace had been averted, his intentions were already damnable. Among the Liu family, Father Liu hated the Ito family most. Makoto had coveted both his wife and his daughter and even schemed against his younger daughter. In the end, it was he who caused the Liu family's downfall, ruin, and potential deaths. How could Father Liu ever spare the Ito family? Makoto, the only reason I let you through this door today is so you can hand over the Ito family's overseas trust fund. Do that and I'll spare your father. By then Kento was already in the ICU. Whether spared or not hardly mattered. At most it would mean Father Liu would handle the aftermath and publicly show the Liu family's benevolence. Makoto caught the hidden meaning in Father Liu's words. If he obeyed, his father would leave the world with some dignity. If he refused, his father wouldn't even die with that much. The overseas trust fund was Makoto's final lifeline. Father Liu intended to wipe out the Ito family completely. Makoto could, of course, flee abroad. But without the shelter of the Ito Corporation and given the Liu family's power, he would not be able to protect himself. Uncle, I don't want to go to prison. Father Liu nodded. Agreed. When Makoto left, Willow and Freya flared up in anger. Dad, how could you let Makoto go? All for that bit of money. Father Liu remained calm. I only said I wouldn't put him in prison. I also said I wouldn't lay a hand on him. He then lifted his gaze toward me. But that doesn't mean my son-in-law will spare him. I understood. Father-in-law wanted me to take revenge personally. Economic crimes meant only a few years in prison. But Makoto, he had returned to steal my wife. That was the hatred of someone trying to take another man's woman. And worse, he dared to covet the mother-in-law I respected most. As a man, if I swallowed this insult, I'd never live freely in this lifetime. Unless I was like the original George, a spineless loser who only knew how to run from everything. Willow behaved well today. Tonight I'll extend the session, she thought happily and relieved. At last no more beatings. Mom's little whip burns with fiery pain, husband's little whip brings delightful pleasure. Mother Liu came out at that moment, covering her nose. Uncle Wu, have the maids clean up the air. Uncle Wu, used to his lady's whims, instantly appeared to make arrangements. Suddenly I remembered something. Right, Willow also has a junior at the company. According to the original trajectory, after the Liu family went bankrupt, that junior never abandoned her. He even sacrificed his life for her. I wondered if... Willow suddenly screamed, interrupting my thoughts, and forced a kiss onto me. It took her a long while to let go. My lips were swollen from her sucking. Willow pleaded, Husband, in this lifetime I only love you. If I ever cheat, you can have Mom and Dad beat me to death. I was baffled by her sudden bold moves. Lesson learned, Willow's words can't be trusted. Willow plopped down on the floor in despair. Her mind thundered with panic. What junior? She didn't even know such a person existed in the company. Father and Mother Liu exchanged glances. Then Father Liu removed a ring from his hand and passed it to me. George, this represents a private unit under the Liu Corporation's control. You can think of them as an enforcement squad. I'm giving it to you now. From this day on, if my daughter ever cheats, you can deal with her and the man however you like, before it even happens. I knew of this unit's existence. In the original story they had been wiped out by the Ito family allied with other clans. But now Father Liu was entrusting them to me. Willow quickly took the ring, put it on my finger herself, and sighed with relief. Husband, now you can rest assured about me, right? Mother Liu comforted me as well. Even though we parents can help you keep an eye on your wife, as a man you must show dominance. Whatever you do, don't ever go back to that pure love nonsense. Freya chimed in encouragingly. Brother-in-law, just make my sister keep having kids for you, keep her giving birth until she's 50. Let's see if she still has time or energy to cheat then. I was speechless. Willow was speechless. But Father and Mother Liu said in unison, great idea. Extra story. Just as Willow had guessed, in this world, All coincidences are nothing but careful calculations by people. Sophia had actually been paying attention to George all along. Back in school she had taken an interest in this junior who was so focused on his studies. Unfortunately, after graduation he became a live-in son-in-law to the Liu family. She thought there would never be any connection again. Who could have expected that one day his wife would come knocking on her door? Sophia, I know you're my husband's crush and he's your Prince Charming. Our Liu family is facing a disaster. I hope to gain the Kim family's support. When it's all over, we'll compete fairly. Willow chose honesty, laying everything on the table, her relationship with Makoto, the troubles facing the Liu Corporation, George wanting to leave. The only thing she didn't mention was that her family could hear George's inner voice. Sophia sneered. Doesn't it seem like it would benefit me more if your Liu family went bankrupt and George became single again? Willow replied firmly, the goddess in my husband's heart is kind and gentle. She would never watch from the sidelines or help evil. Sophia, would you? Sophia let out a long sigh. If Willow hadn't come to her that day, she could have kept out of it. But now that Willow had come begging, if George later found out she had turned a blind eye it might damage their relationship. You really believe I care about George that much? Willow nodded. In the original trajectory, Sophia, this lofty CEO, had even been willing to marry George after his divorce. She couldn't say that aloud now. Sophia, there's only one chance, Willow had told her. In the end Sophia still agreed. Because it was for George. The 10 billion divorce fee was converted into a 5% stake in the Liu Corporation. Sophia also revealed GW's identity and threw her weight behind the Liu family. She used her teacher's connections to bring in clients, lent the Kim Corporation's influence, and made it clear she didn't want to watch George's life be ruined. All of that proved one thing: George didn't want the Liu family to go bankrupt. As George's crush, Sophia couldn't bear to tarnish her image in his eyes. Within a month, with the Kim and Liu families cooperating, they beat back their powerful enemies. Victory tasted like relief and then, abruptly, like betrayal. Willow, this is the fair competition you promised me, Sophia snapped, stomping her foot and waving a piece of paper. Willow was pregnant. So while Willow had been buried in work she had also been, frantically picking mushrooms. And she'd actually pulled it off. Willow gave an awkward little smile. This can't be blamed on me. If you must blame someone, blame my mom. She's the one who said I could only marry George in this lifetime. Otherwise she'd think every other man was coveting her. Sophia's face went frosty. You owe me an explanation. Willow pretended to hesitate for a long beat, then offered, almost casually, how about, you become my mother's goddaughter? Sophia stared. Willow nodded, firm. My mom only allows her daughters to marry George. Parentheses, Freya doesn't count. Sophia was dumbfounded. Could it really work like that? Willow saw Sophia's hesitation and inwardly sneered coldly, though she kept the act on the surface. If it weren't for the fact that she couldn't do without the Kim family as an ally, and if Sophia weren't her husband's crush, she wouldn't care this much. But adults don't dwell on love and sentimentality. Everything is for profit. Powerful families don't trust a marriage certificate. Children are the real bond. Sophia, don't hope for too much. My husband can love you most in his heart, but I'll always be his wife for life. Sophia was silent for a long while, then finally lowered her head and whispered, Thank you, Willow. Willow burst into laughter at the whisper. She took out her phone in one swift movement. Assistant Lisa, go order a little leather whip. The exact same kind as my mom's. Sophia's expression changed drastically. What are you going to do? Do you and George have that kind of, she began. Willow sighed, helpless as if explaining something obvious. Don't overthink. This is my child's very first gift in life. To let him taste the suffering I once endured. Sophia's eyelid twitched, she edged a little farther away. Better not warn her, Willow thought, smiling internally. Let her experience firsthand what generational love really means.